So then you talk a little bit about like the mentorship aspect of it because I think at least as I kind of matriculated through life and kind of in different business ventures or just kind of ventures in general, heck, even kind of coming at Michigan State, coming to Michigan State, and I was going to major in political science pre-law until a mentor, my cousin of mine, who's a criminal defense attorney, he said, don't do political science because if you decide not to go to law school, you're going to be screwed with that a political science degree. So you said you like engineering, do math and science. I mean, you said you like math and science, do engineering. If you decide you want to go to law school, you can still go to law school. So I think for me, mentors have paid dividends in my life. Can you kind of talk about I guess the role that a mentorship has had in your life as up until this point in time?
Yeah, I would start with my parents, give my parents and shout out to them and give them all the credit
Mm,
because to me, it started in the home with me in terms of that mentorship and my mom and my dad really setting the example in terms of hard work, discipline, family oriented, honoring their values, but going after what they wanted to go after. My parents were dreamers. They dreamed about, you know, all the things that they have accomplished. And then, so I think they really set the example. And I never forget, when I told my mom I wanted to be a professional athlete, she started waking me up every morning to run the stairs in our
really?
apartment complex, because that's going to take work.
Yeah, for
So you
sure.
think about that type of mentorship, and sometimes it's the small things like, okay, if you see somebody, if you're mentoring someone or somebody sees something in you, then they actually help you accomplish that. And then I think about my dad taking us to work with him on Saturdays, as he was climbing the corporate ranks at Ford, and just how, he was working on the weekend and how he was trying to push his career forward. Like that's incredible mentorship, and taking us into the office and seeing how he conducted his meetings and just how he structured his days. I think, that's incredible mentorship. And then when I got into the college, you have the BJ Cunninghams, the Blair Whites, the Keyshawn Martins. You really learn the Mark Dales. You really learn about how they go about their work and what they're doing. And then you have, your OGs like the Andre Rison come back and share stories. And then you really know it's possible to become an NFL receiver. And then you get to the NFL, and then the mentorship is on a whole nother level because you're around the late great Demaryius Thomas, somebody who's first round pick and one of the best athletes and players I've ever seen. And you have an Emmanuel Sanders, a Wes Welker. Those are the first three receivers that I played with that gave me little tidbits, but they would pull you aside and, hey, you think about this. This is how you go about your day. Mentors really set the example, and you have to seek those people out. Where do you want to be? What kind of career do you want to have? And seek
Yeah,
those people out and stay close with them, because people are always willing to help,
right.
if you're willing to ask.
No, and that's I think that's an interesting point. Why don't you think that more people don't just, I guess, reach out and I guess ask questions to somebody who's trying to do what they did or have done what they did on a high level? Why don't you think that happens more? Because it seems like, just from my experiences, and it seems like you have had the same experiences as far as like, people want to help out, people want to answer questions, but for whatever reason, it seems like people, people who are coming up or who need the answers, for whatever reason, maybe don't kind of reach out as much as they should. Do you have like maybe I guess a reason or opinion to that?
Imposter syndrome, or people thinking, a fear-based approach. They're thinking, well, why would this person want to talk to me?
Yeah,
Or what if they say no? Well, what if they say yes? Or what if this turned out to be one of the best conversations they've ever had? I think that's a place, it's a mindset shift that certain people need to have, because it doesn't actually, when you're thinking about it consciously, it doesn't actually make any sense for you not to ask if
right.
that's the place that you want to be.
Yeah,
They can help you miss and navigate on the landmines that they had to. Why wouldn't you take that opportunity? So I think about coming from that place. Why would I not ask Demarius, like, hey, how are you thinking about this? Or what are you eating? What's your diet? Who are you using for a massage? That all of my modalities and therapies for somebody who he didn't miss any games when I was in Colorado. Why wouldn't I just use all his people?
right.
It's similar to some of the players that play with LeBron James that get hurt all the time. Like, well, this is the dude who doesn't get hurt. Why don't you just do what he does?
Right.
But some people just, they feel like because they got to a certain level and point that they don't feel like they need to learn. But no, you've got greatness right there. Why don't you just do that? Like,
Now that makes perfect sense.